Welcome to the Echo Tips Podcast.
And here's a sneak peek of what you'll find in this episode.
But I felt like routines is something we haven't looked at in a long time.
Routines.
So here's routines. So we'll tap on routines.
Routines.
Now, immediately when you go into routines, if you haven't been in here a long time, you're going to sit and notice that the format of this page has changed a lot.
Forget it.
Well, hello, and welcome to the Echo Tips Podcast. I'm your host, David Ward, and it's good to have y'all returning listeners, and hopefully we got a few new listeners with us here today as well. For you newbies, we'll be giving you a rundown of what this show, a weekly show, now in its 8th season, is all about. Actually, we're coming to the conclusion of our 8th season. But at a high level today, we're going to be dealing with an issue or a topic, I should say, not an issue, a topic we haven't dealt with in quite a while, and that is routines. So routines are these automations you can set up with your A-Lady device. They existed even prior to A-Lady Plus, but have only got better with time. And certainly have been refined a lot. I think we're going to, if you haven't delved into the routine section in the A-Lady app in a while, I think you may genuinely be surprised. So we're just going to kind of do a little review of that. I haven't covered the app's ability to configure things in a long, long time. And they've been slowly adding a lot of iterative features, if-then statements and ways that can happen. You know, if it's 6 a.m., do this with the thermostat, but only if it's, not snowing outside or whatever. We're going to talk about a lot of really cool things there that have been nested into the routines. And of course, you may recall that we have discussed routines somewhat recently, at least in the last 6 months probably or so, and that was connected with the ability to build them verbally, and a new concept called temporary routines. So we may gloss over some of those things as well today, but today we're mostly... And I'm sorry, this may feel like watching paint dry, but you can follow along on your app as well. We're going to go step by step through the app, maybe not delve into every nook and cranny, but just refamiliarize ourselves with some routine things for routines, and then totally new things that are kind of bonkers. You're like, whoa, when did they add that? And just kind of touch on some of those things and the ways that I use routines. And then maybe some of those higher level things that I found versatile too, just a verbal ability to create routines. And how do you know which ones were created with your voice and which ones were not? And, maybe you need to go back and tweak something. So anyhow, we're going to delve into that topic today. We also may mention some bugs that I've been encountering lately on my A-Lady devices. And I'm mostly bringing it out so that you aren't like pulling your hair out, being like, I'm the only one. No, you're not the only one. I've been having some interesting quirks too with my A-Lady devices. Well, anyway, so that gives you guys a little preview of what we're going to be dealing with today, routines, and delving into the, in this particular case, the A-Lady app on iPhone. But I imagine the layout, since it's mostly a web app, it's probably laid out very similarly to, if not identical, to the Android app. So anywho, all right, well, before we do that, just a little primer for our new listeners who are wondering what the show is all about. The name kind of tells you what it is all about in a way, Echo Tips, or as in the Amazon Echo line of devices. But we deal with other voice assistants as well, especially when we see that one's maybe pushing ahead of another or one's improving a feature better than another. We try to keep comparisons. So over the years, we have talked about Google's smart speaker line, crying out loud. We had Microsoft's smart speaker and voice assistants. We had Cortana, and we had, we talked about different things. Did we talk about the Facebook portal at one point? I can't remember, but we talked about a lot of different things. At one point, I'm hoping to delve into Home Assistants, which is more of kind of an open source platform with voice assistants. They have a voice assistant technique that you can employ as well. I've had the hardware here for a while, but I never bought the little server component so that we could run that. But that might be something I can demo in the future as well. It has a lot of promise, especially if you can do some pretty wild configurations and maybe set it up with a chat bot of your choice. That would be kind of really cool. But anyway, we've talked about over these 8 seasons, you new listeners, all sorts of stuff. So if you're here to try and solve a problem, there's a good chance you can do that by looking through our back catalog. Now, an easy way to do that is go to my website, CertDoctor with a C, C-E-R-T like certificate, then doctor, DOCTOR.com. Now, if you put /YouTube, that will just direct you directly to where you need to go. Or if you land on the main web page, you'll see my blog, and you'll see a link for the YouTube channel as well, and some different things there. So I think and Mastodon connections are on there, and different things on that website. And I'll mention later in the show a way you can email feedback about this particular podcast as well if you have thoughts or questions. But the YouTube is a great way to go back into our back catalog. And like I said, we've covered, 8 seasons every week, 52 episodes a year. We've covered a lot of stuff over that time. So home automation, things for kids, things for parents, things for caregivers, just a wide array of stuff. And routines is not unique to that. We've covered routines ever since it was a little glimmer in the A-Lady's eye. And now we're going to be talking about how it's advanced and some things you may have not known that are in there. Honestly, they kind of sometimes surprised me. And even till today, when I actually tried to implement, I'm like, oh, can I use both? Can I use this or that? Or how do I tweak that? We're going to delve into that a little bit today. All right, so with that, without any further ado, we'll have a brief transition, and then we'll be right back with the core subject of our show. Okay, we're back. All right, it's good to have you all here. We're going to delve right into routines because I will probably make this long, and I apologize, and I might even have to label this an omnibus episode. You never know. So what we're going to do here is how do I show you something through a podcast? Well, you can't really do that, but you can follow along on your own device that has the A-Lady app installed and set up with your account. And I would encourage you, if this is something you want to, get a little more familiarity with, by all means do that. You can go ahead and you can always pause the show and come back. And so what I'm going to be doing, though, is I have my iPhone here hooked up to our mixer in the studio, and that way I have a the voiceover for those that are blind and vision impaired or low vision to hear what is on the screen. So we'll go through the buttons, and you'll actually hear verbatim what they are, and this app has been just updated, so this should be the newest A-Lady app from the App Store as of July 16th. So I just updated the app, so it should be in line with everything. Now, that's not to say there's some weird A/B testing probably going on out there, but generally this is going to be probably the layout you would anticipate. Okay? All right, so I have like I said, it's going to be talking at us, and we'll be going through this. So let me unlock my phone here, and we'll get right into it.
6:46 p.m. Amazon A-Lady, back button.
Okay, so we're already in the app. I've already gone to the top left corner and hit the what is labeled to me as the More button. I imagine it has 3 dots or 3 lines or something like that on you. And that will slide out this main menu format that we've had for probably about a year. It's a relatively newer format, maybe 2 years. And we're going to go down here to routines in the first column on the left. Let's see if I can find it.
A-Lady Plus Store.
Oh, I did delve into that a little bit to see if there was anything new. Unfortunately, I didn't have anything to really talk to you guys much about with that. But I felt like routines is something we haven't looked at in a long time.
Routines.
So here's routines. So we'll tap on routines.
Routines.
Now, immediately when you go into routines, if you haven't been in here a long time, you're going to notice that the format of this page has changed a lot. It has tabs at the top which categorize different areas you can jump into. So let's look at that.
Selected. Gallery.
We have our gallery mode. Now, this is kind of impressive. You can go down here and see suggested routines. Let me get the right word. Routines that you can just kind of pick and choose that are kind of prefab templates for you that you can select. And I was actually pretty impressed by some of the options that were here. But if I go over, this other tab we have is
Your Routines.
Your Routines. So those are the ones that I'm already actively using on my account and have created in one form or fashion, or maybe added from the gallery. And the next tab we have over is
Activity.
Now, activity is good because if you kind of start to get really deep in the weeds with home automation and timers and was this triggered when I walked in the door and then cooled the house 15 degrees, you could gnarl yourself up at some point and you're kind of like, what triggered that? Which routine was that I need to go edit? And this is a great way that you can go into activity and see, okay, what routines were triggered sequentially over this period of time today. So now depending on which one of these tabs you select at the top, everything at the below that is going to populate appropriately. So if I'm in gallery, it's going to show me everything in the gallery below. If I select my routines, it's going to show all my routines. So first off, let's just look at these kind of prefab templates that we have. Go down here.
Featured categories.
So we have a feature category.
View all. Button. Morning. Button.
These are for early in the morning.
Health and wellness. Button.
Assume that's what it is.
Morning. Health and wellness.
Health
Button.
and wellness.
Family.
Family. So these are just generic categories. So they're actually starting to categorize some of these, which I find impressive.
Entertainment. Button.
Entertainment.
New. Button.
News.
Home automation.
Home
Button.
automation.
Explore more routines.
Okay, now it even gets more detailed down here. You go and he starts listing some more in this other category.
Routine essentials. Simplify your day with these popular routines. View popular routines. Button.
Sorry if
Image.
the voice gets a little garbled here. Bluetooth has a way of fading in and out sometimes.
View popular routines. View popular newly added. View all. Button.
Okay, so here's some new added.
Amazon weekly shopping deals. A lady will rate your top weekly shopping deals on Amazon.com. Button.
So it tells me what it is and gives me a little synopsis of what it can do.
Daily finance report. A lady will read you a detailed finance report. Button.
Okay, this is a finance skill.
Live news update from iHeartRadio. A lady will start your morning with the latest national and international news headlines from 24/7 news on iHeartRadio. Button.
Okay, so live news skill.
Sound detection routines.
Here it gives some samples, some sound routines.
Routines can activate when a lady detects water running, appliances beeping, dog barking, and more.
Okay, so it's just starting to give you some sample ideas of ways it can be triggered and even templates you can select for that. Now, as I would imagine, if you select one of these prefab templates like the news or something, you could probably go in there and customize it a little bit, or like the financial one. No, I don't care about Intel stock, but I want to know about Microsoft stock. You can probably go in there and tweak it. It'll also give you an idea of how it could be laid out, and maybe you could expand that and say, oh, well, I want all of those, but I also want to hear the Microsoft stock and, Shell Oil or whatever. Okay, so that gives you a nice little primer for prefabbed gallery templates that you can select and then customize to your needs.
Your routines.
So I'm going to go back up to the top and go to My Routines and change that over to that tab.
Your routines.
Okay, and now we're in My Routines, and I'm going to go through these
Activity.
a little bit. I got to go past the activity button.
Change filtered profiles from all. Button.
Okay, so apparently I can filter routines. I don't know, maybe by ones I have currently active versus ones maybe I archived or deactivated. Let's see here.
Every day at 6 a.m. for Home A Lady Plus. Button.
So these are usually pre-assigned a name by default. As you can say, this is a routine that was designed to run at 6 a.m. every morning, kind of like a morning routine that I had. And beside it, I have a
Play routine.
play button. So if I want to invoke it right now, even though it ain't 6 a.m., and this is a great way to practice these once you set these up, you can do that right there. Now, if I tapped on the routine, that will take us into the edit mode where I can actually look at how it's presently set up and reconfigure it. We're going to go in there in a second. But yeah, you have this listing of routines down through here. I wanted to say these are automatically sorted in some form or fashion. Is it alphabetical? Let me
Personal
look.
counter for Home A Lady Plus.
Counter
Button.
number, then letter A, B, C. Yeah, that's a C. I think this is alphabetical ordered, but you might be able to alter it up in the filter thing. I thought it used to be sorted by the most recent routine, but I must be wrong about that, or it might have been an earlier app iteration. But notice this routine here. Let me go down here. It has
Home office vacancy night shutdown for home created by voice. Button.
Okay, so this is a routine that was designed for my home office late at night to maybe like shut off my computer monitors and things if I had gone to bed and I'd forgot to hit the power button or something like that. Now, I was lazy when I made this, and you may notice it has this extra verbiage here, and if you're looking in the app, you'll see a little line below it with this text that this was made using nothing but my voice. So this was not, I didn't go into an app to do this, I just verbally crafted this. Now, just as a little flashback, we have covered making routines using our voice. By all means, go back in our YouTube channel and check those out. By the way, it is the most amazing of features that I've experienced with A-Lady Plus. Pretty much, I'd say the top 3 features that are like, wow, really surprised me that they made this work and work pretty darn well. So the ability to create routines using nothing but your voice, and also a new concept, which I wonder if it's in here in any other way. We're going to look at that. And that is temporary routines. So like I was up last night and I needed to set the thermostat or something to do. Oh no, I know what it was. I thought my sinuses were bothering me, so I turned on a salt lamp. And I was like, I'll probably forget to shut that off. So I told the A-Lady, turn the salt lamp off at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. And it created a one-time temporary routine that would do nothing but that. So those are pretty fancy. The temporary routines are one and done, and then they wipe themselves out. Whether you can do that inside the app or not, I would assume you can. I've just never tried to do it. I've always done it verbally. All right, so let's see. Let's take this first one, which I've already kind of boogered up my 6 a.m. routine.
Shower time for Home A-Lady Plus every day.
That's my
at
shower
6
time routine.
For Home A-Lady Plus.
Gets
button.
the really happening music going and everything for my shower routine, and then beeps to tell me I've been in there too long, I need to get out, or I'm going to miss my bus or whatever. All right, so here we are.
Every day at 6 a.m. for Home A-Lady Plus.
Okay,
button.
So this is my 6 a.m. routine. Now, I originally crafted this. Let's go in here. Tap on
every
that.
day at 6 a.m. for Home A-Lady Plus. 6:55 p.m. Status bar item.
So this is, excuse me, this is pretty well laid out in a linear fashion where at the top you have an enable disable option. So you can disable these, like maybe this is a summer routine, you don't need it anymore, it's going into the winter, you can shut it off, or vice versa. But you don't want to have to recreate it every season. So there is a disable button up here at the top. You can also often rename these and give them a more verbatim name, or a name that makes sense to you. You can do that kind of stuff. As you flow down the screen here, you're going to see it basically is oriented towards what triggers. In this case, it would be the clock, which is 6 a.m. And then following that is what it does as a result of that. But there's some interesting new features in here about kind of if-then statements. So let's go down through this. Okay, so let's just go down through this screen sequentially.
Enabled. Switch button.
There's
on.
that enable button that you can toggle on or off that I told you about.
4.
This is what it's going to be doing.
Home button.
It's for the home environment, so you can designate locations. So like if you have echoes at work and echoes at home, you can designate where
Tap
these
to
are
go
applicable
back
for.
button.
Oh, sorry. I think my phone just freaked out a little bit there. So let me go back.
4.
So currently
home
this is set
button.
for the home environment. Keep going here.
When.
When, because I designated a trigger based on schedule or time.
Every day at 6 a.m. button.
Every day at 6 a.m. So these are very versatile. If you've never created a routine, though, you could designate, every Monday. It could be every Monday and Tuesday. It could be every weekday, Monday through Friday. It could be every Saturday, the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Very versatile on how you can do this. But right now, you see it's just every day at 6 o'clock, I wanted this particular thing to happen.
Delete event 1 every day at 6 a.m. button.
I, of course, can delete that and rejigger that. Here's an interesting feature, which you may have not seen before. You haven't been in here in a while.
Add another event A-Lady Plus button.
So I believe the way this is labeled, it's been labeled this way for a while, ever since I've been running on, I'm going to start saying her name, by the way, guys. Every time I've been using Alexa Plus, it's been using this designation in the app. So I think this is a special feature for Alexa Plus users, which means that you can have multiple triggers. So maybe I just didn't want a 6 a.m. Trigger. I wanted also, I don't know, when I walk in the house after 5 o'clock or something, trigger, or when the room is vacant for a certain period of time during a certain time of day. I could have different triggers here. So apparently I think that means it's kind of an upsell But I'm in A Lady Plus, so I can't add multiple triggers here. And then, of course, I can manually run it, as you saw the buttons earlier as well. And I think often if you have the name, you name the routine something very specific, you can always invoke the routine. You just say, run the, the Foxtrot 1, 2, 3 routine or whatever the name of it is. Okay, so let's keep going.
Only if.
Now, this is interesting. You may have not encountered this. There's another if statement you can put in here.
Temperature at home is above 8 degrees Fahrenheit and one other condition. Button.
Okay, so as you can see, I've designated a temperature qualifier, and the other qualifier is whether I think it's snowing outside or something. Now, this is usually blank right here. It may say the if option. What was the option it said?
Only if.
Only if. It may just say only if and then be blank immediately underneath that. But if you keep going,
Temperature at add conditions.
here's where you add these conditions.
Daytime. Button. Image. Daytime.
So you have the 6 a.m. qualifier every day of the week, but then you can say, but only if this happens. So here are some of these items.
Nighttime. Daytime.
So
Button.
you could
Image.
say daytime, and imagine you would choose a time.
Nighttime. Button.
Nighttime.
Image. Nighttime.
I'm assuming you would choose a time there too, unless it's some easy designation like sunrise or sunset or something like that. It's kind of weird that they put those two in here because it's already a time-based thing, so I don't think it's very applicable. But if you had a routine that was based on something different, like you wanted this to trigger when you walk in the front door based on a sensor or something, you may want to have that happen between 6 a.m. in the morning all the way to maybe 9 o'clock at night, but you don't want it to happen 3 in the morning. So just kind of interesting. Let's look at these real quick just because I've never...
Daytime. Button.
Let's go into
Image.
daytime and see what it
Daytime.
says.
Location. Tap to add location.
Okay.
Link.
You add the location again.
Ask a lady. A lady add. Button. Speak to a lady. Speak to a lady add. Ask a lady. Location. Tap to add location. Link. A lady will check if it's day or night at your selected location before running your routine.
Day or night. Okay, I don't know exactly. The only thing I can conclude with that meaning is whether the sun's rised or sunset. So this is basically a sunrise-sunset qualifier, it looks like.
Next disabled. Dimmed. Button.
And that's all that it's got as you designate whether you're at home or not.
Daytime. Back. Button.
Okay.
Back.
Why they couldn't have nested that into
Tap
one
to go
control,
back.
I don't
Button.
know. But anywho, let's go back down to what we had.
Every day. At 6 a.m. Delete add in only if. Temperature at home is above 8. Add conditions.
Okay, so here's our conditions again.
Daytime.
Day,
But nighttime.
night, we've
button.
looked at those.
Image. Selected. Area temperature. Button.
This is
Image.
kinda neat.
Area
This-
temperature.
You can select a temperature, which I did. Like unless if it's over 70 degrees, then you don't need to turn on the heat, or something like that. Or if it's below 50 degrees in the morning, don't shut off my heater in the morning, at 6 a.m. That kind of thing.
Rain. Button. Image.
Here
Rain.
you can have rain as a qualifier, and I think you can get pretty detailed in there. You can say percentages of chance of rain. Is it actually raining at this exact moment? Those kind of things.
Selected. Snow.
Snow
Button.
is the
Image.
same kind of
Snow.
qualifier. So these are really kind of cool ways you can create caveats for your routine.
A lady whale.
And that's basically it. Okay, so then you move into the what will actually happen if all these things fall in place. Now, in the basic form, the way I originally crafted this, it ran at 6 a.m. no matter what, and I didn't have those qualifiers. I had added up here, which was temperature and is it snowing or not or something. Now, I will tell you an oddity here is when I added those in, I have yet to figure out if there's any way I can delete them. I can go back in and edit them and change the temperature or say it's got to be a 50% chance of snow instead of a 75% chance of snow. But I can't seem to see any easy way to delete them. And that might be just a challenge with VoiceOver. There may be a control or something there that I'm not interacting with or a swipe gesture or something. But I officially think I've boogered up this routine, and I'm going to have to create it from scratch all over again. But that's what I do for you guys, right? So we can all learn together. All right, so let me keep going here. So these are what this routine actually does.
Reorder Action 1, Air Conditioner Bedroom AC.
Okay, so you can reorder these once you put them in place. So the thing I had happening at 6 in the morning was it would control my air conditioner in my bedroom and kind of shut it off during the summer. I mean, it'll shut off the air conditioning, and then it'll turn on the air conditioning in the main portion of the house, basically, so that it actually is cooling down in the main house. And then I'm getting hotter in the bedroom, and hopefully that will stimulate me to get out of the bed, along with my alarm going off. But let's see what else we got in here.
Air Conditioner Bedroom AC.
Yeah.
Delete Action 1,
Yeah, of
Air
course you
Conditioner
can-
Bedroom AC.
Of course, you can delete these as you go.
Power off.
Unlike, like I said, the other thing. Wait, was there? I went through all this trouble to tell you there was no delete button up here. Let me see if it's on.
Temperature at home is above 8 degrees Fahrenheit and one other condition. But add conditions.
No, there's no delete button like it is later down here with these actual activities. Okay, let me go back
Finish button. Power off.
down. Okay, so yeah, it's powering off the air conditioning in the bedroom.
Reorder Action 2. Kitchen AC.
Turns the kitchen AC on.
Delete Action Power on. Turn on.
Turns it on.
Reorder Action 3. Play bells.
The beauty of this is it's a very basic routine where it just tells it to turn one off and turn the other one on. Like I'm rotating from being sleepy to actually being productive and getting up and doing something. And the cool thing about this is this routine would still work even during the winter because I didn't specify whether to turn it to cool or heat. It just says turn it on. So if it's the middle of winter, everything's probably going to already be set to heat. So it'll, I'll shut off my heat in the kitchen at night and turn my heat on in the bedroom. And then in the morning, 6 o'clock automatically, it will, turn the heat off in the bedroom, which will make it extra chilly, and I'll have to start waking up, and then it'll start warming up the rest of the house. Or vice versa. Here in summer, it's doing the exact opposite because it's set to cool. All right, and I think, do I have a little jingle?
Music. Play bells.
Yeah, I have jingles. A lot of times with some of these, I like to add little jingles, default jingles from the codecs here, and I find that kind of useful. All right, well, let's see. Anything else I can show you here? I think that's basically it. There's a finish button at the bottom, which is basically a save button. And there is a save button, or if you hit the back button in the top left, that also saves a routine. So that's another gotcha. That's why I accidentally added these if-then statements here, like, is it snowing out? And then I couldn't seem to find a delete key to delete them. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll just hit the back button. No, the back button saves it and the finish button saves it. So it's almost like an automatic save as no matter what. Or save, I should say. So, yeah, that's interesting. There is a more button in the top, which has some interesting features. Let's look at that real quick, because
More options.
I was kind of
Button.
surprised what was in here. Look at this in the top right.
Close button.
Okay, so it opens a menu, and I landed on the close button, but we have...
Play routine button.
We have the play routine option right here. So this is handy if you're building it out and you want to make sure it's working the way you want. You can just hit this right away and have it run, and you're like, oh, no, that's not playing the right music album I wanted, or whatever it was.
View activity button.
This is neat, so you can look at the individual activity of this routine. So you're like, is this thing working right, or when is it running, or is it not running? Is it not being triggered when I walk in the door? You can look at that. Instead of all of them together, you can look at an itemized, version of this particular routine's activity.
Delete routine button.
Delete routine, which is probably what I'm going to be doing with this one since I boogered it up now and I need to recreate it.
About heading.
We have an about section.
Created 10/19/2024 at 10:02 p.m.
So as
button.
you can see, I've been using this routine for a long time, and that's kind of cool. It's got a little timestamp on there, and I think that's the last thing on the menu.
Modified 07/16/2026 at 6:18 p.m.
Oh,
button.
Oh, it's got a modification date too. That's cool. Okay, and that apparently is it.
Close
So
button.
we'll close that.
Close. More options button.
Okay, so what I think we'll do next now is I want to give you guys just a little taste. We haven't done this in seasons in this show. So several years since we've really burrowed into this in detail. Look at some of these triggers. So if you're building a routine out from the beginning you're going to be, well, actually, maybe we should just do it that way instead of inside the routine.
A lady whale. Selected. Rain. Button.
Well, yeah,
Image.
let's
Rain.
do it that way. Let me back out here. Hit the finish button.
Finish. Button. Back. Button.
Okay. And in the top right, we have a create button.
Add new. Button.
Or add new routine. So we'll do that.
7:09 p.m. Status bar item.
Now, this takes us through kind of a small, itsy-bitsy tiny wizard to get us started. So it doesn't take us to that same screen we initiated with, or that I showed you when I was editing
7:10
a
p.m.
routine.
Status bar item.
For some reason, it decided to read out the time to me now. Okay.
4.
All right, so let's see what this wizard asks us.
New routine rename. Button.
Okay, so right there at the top, I can give it a specific name.
4.
And I can, let's see, what's it going to do?
Home. Button.
Oh, I designate the location. Like I said, this is a new kind of thing. I don't think I've seen this. So, of course, home or work or your address.
When.
Okay, now we have the when.
Add an event. Button.
So the trigger or add the event. In the case of the previous one I talked about was a simple timing thing.
A lady whale.
And
Add an action. Button.
oh, you know what? It actually is kind of laid out very much like the other page, with the exception there's no enable disable button on the top. There's no finish button at the bottom, but it is generally laid out in the same kind of format here. Interesting. All right, so let's choose home, because
Home.
for some
button.
reason it doesn't default. It says
Select
home and then
routine
blank,
users.
but I think I
Home.
have to
Checked.
designate my exact location, I think. Well, maybe I don't. I'm going to back out of that. Let's forget that.
Who will use select route back. Button. Back. Cancel.
No,
button.
wait a minute. It said something interesting in there. Let's look at that again.
4. Home. Button.
Home. Okay.
Home. Back. Button. Back. Select routine. Who will use this routine? Home. Checked. Button.
Oh, well, I guess it's about, who's going to use it. Oh, could I designate?
Routine will be adapted to the selected profile.
Oh, I can choose who in the household.
Or select a profile. The routine actions will only adapt to the selected member.
Huh.
Everyone under this account can view and update all the routines.
Well, they keep adding stuff in here. This is why we do this, guys, so you can get, we can all learn together. But
Captain, unchecked, button.
So, Captain is my nickname, and then we probably have little Johnny in here, my fictitious child.
David, unchecked.
Oh,
button.
I have me in here too. It's weird. This has kind of been a bug we've been dealing with before. And I never told you about the bug I was going to discuss today either. We might mention it at the end of the show if we got time.
John, unchecked.
There's
button.
little Johnny.
Save, button.
Okay, so that's a little different than I thought what it's doing.
The routine actions will select a or routine will be adapted to the selected home, checked, button.
Okay, so it looks like
routine will be adapted to the selected profile.
Yeah.
Home, who will use this routine?
Okay, so I guess it might be a multi-stage thing there. Not only is it anybody at home can use it, or do a particular profile can use it. So, interesting. Okay, let's go back.
Select routine users. Head back button.
Because I know inside the actual routine, once you've crafted it, that button that we said that was very similar to that, it actually asked for addresses. It had the address of my house and then address of my workplace. So,
back.
It's kind of interesting.
Button.
Maybe if I went under that home button, it would expand out and give me different options, addresses. Okay. It's interesting. I don't know. I don't know exactly what that would give you, except I guess you could build routines for your children that are different from you. Maybe for them playing stories or games or something that they can't remember the names of or something. Or every day they get to hear their news. I don't know. I have to think about why you would do it that way.
4.
But let's get to the nuts and bolts here and look at the triggers that we have.
Home, button. When. Add an event, button.
Okay, so these are the events.
A lady whale. Add an event, button.
I'm going to go to that.
Add an event. When this happens.
Okay. So it's been a long time since we looked in here. So
U.S. Mobile. Status bar. Events with people recognition.
Events with people recognition. Oh, they've laid this out a little differently than last time I was in here.
Presence detection, button.
Okay, presence detection, if you're unfamiliar with that, The Echo Dot 5s and maybe the 4s have the ability to detect whether there's somebody in the room or not, as do some of the Echo Shows, although I think they use different things. The Dots use some sort of sonic thing to kind of detect disturbances in the air in the room, while the Echo Shows are primarily using the camera to see if there's any motion or activity in the room. But anyway, you can set it so when somebody walks in or somebody walks out or somebody is not detected in the room for, say, 30 minutes or an hour or whatever, to trigger a series of events, whether that be shut the lights off, somebody walks in, turns the lights on, whatever the case you may think may be useful. I use this one to shut off some stuff at night if I forgot to turn it off.
Voice button.
Here's your basic voice command. So you can go in here, and this was probably the earliest of triggers that you could create, which is you literally give it a name. This is routine 1, 2, 3. This is routine 5, 4, 6. Whatever. This is my my baking pizza routine or whatever it is. You could give it a literal name, and then you would go over to your Echo and say, "Hey, lady, play the baking a pizza routine," or start the baking the pizza routine. So, and you can give them multiple names now, by the way, if you go in there. So that's kind of neat. If you feel like you're going to forget what its name is, you can go in and give it several different names. Although with AI, it may be able to figure it out or come back and ask you. I don't know.
Other events.
So let's look at the other events that can serve as a trigger.
Schedule button.
Schedule. And that's the most simple one and probably one most people are going to use for a lot of things. Like my 6 a.m. A thing, you just schedule it, right?
Smart home button.
This is smart home, so you could use things in your house as triggers. Maybe certain devices that are turned on or turned off, or different things like, let me actually go in here and see what it lists.
Choose device. First light bedroom button.
So yeah, items, items in my bedroom. That might be my Echoes.
Bedroom Echo
Switches. Button. Okay, now it itemizes them.
Bedroom fan button. Braille printer button.
Braille printer.
First light button.
So I don't know how these are laid out. It doesn't seem to be alphabetical.
Home office button. Home ring button.
So anyway, you can go in here and you can select one of these and then use some sort of home automation capacity as a trigger here.
Bedroom fan button. Bedroom Echo button.
So like the fan, I could probably,
fan,
let me
button.
see if I do that.
Turned off. Radio button. Turned on. Radio button.
Yeah,
unchecked.
If it gets turned on, it could trigger this routine. In other words, like, tells all the other fans in the house to turn on.
Turned off.
Or if it's
Radio
turned
button.
off,
Turned on. Power. When your device next disabled. Bedroom back button.
So that's pretty powerful.
Choose device. Bedroom Echo
Or if
button.
you use certain lights or light switches, smart lights.
Bedroom. Choose device back button.
So I'm going to go back.
When this happens. Schedule button. Smart home button.
Covered smart home now.
Sound detection button.
Sound detection. That was the one that talked about like running water or dogs barking. You could use that to trigger your routine. Now, don't forget, as an A-Lady Plus member, you can have multiple routines. So you may be the series of events that you want to transpire, like turn the lights on or adjust the thermostat. And you not only maybe have a certain time of day in mind, but you would like to have, I don't know, some other sort of trigger in case you come home early or something, maybe people detection or something. So you can have multiple triggers, but we're just looking at
Smart home.
What's in
button.
the triggers list.
Sound detection button. Sports button.
Sports triggers. So I have no idea what's under sports triggers. The Dallas Cowboys get a certain score. I don't know. It's fascinating.
Smart home. Sports. Location button.
Location. Now that could be very useful. That's like geofencing. So like when my since I have the A-Lady app on my iPhone and it has access to my GPS, if I've granted it access, then I can have location activators. So like maybe when I arrive home or when I'm leaving home, it could trigger a series of events. Like when I leave the house, it could turn all the thermostats so that I save power and make sure all the lights are off, or make sure all the fans and things are off. Or conversely, when I'm arriving at home, it could turn everything back on. So those are pretty cool. Very powerful.
Alarms. Button.
Alarms? Oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys. I got a scratch in my throat, and I have no idea what it's all about. But anyway, alarms, this is kind of a curious one. I think it's when alarms are turned off or turned on. You can use them to trigger things. Not too sure why you would do that. I guess you could have it just, a routine that piggybacks on maybe like your alarm in your bedroom that wakes you up in the morning. And when it goes off, it triggers a separate routine that, I don't know, turns the lights on in the kitchen, turns the thermostat to where you want it in the kitchen, different things. I don't know, fire up the coffee maker, start the bacon on the griddle. I'm sorry, I'm having a Back to the Future moment with with Dr. Brown's automated house where everything started up at a certain time. Okay, so let's see what else we got.
Modes. Button.
Modes. Yeah, I think we've discussed that separately where you can have like these different modes for like when I think when you're away from home or when you're arriving at home. They're kind of like routines. Why this is a little bit of the, I think, snake eating its own tail. I guess you have a separate routine that would trigger off of one of those designates. So like when you're arriving home or something like that. That's kind of curious.
Alarms.
Tell you what, I'm going to go in there and just look at that because
Modes.
I'm
Button.
curious.
Modes. A lady.
Ooh,
I'm
look.
leaving. A lady. I'm home.
Yeah, there's a whole explanation here. Okay, all right.
Home and away modes. Cancel. But home and away modes.
Home and away modes.
Modes can automate your lights, thermostat, security, and other devices as you come and go. A lady. I'm leaving. A lady. I'm home. Next. Button.
Okay, so yeah, you can set this up and have this being a trigger. This might be just a weird roundabout way to create one of these modes because they're almost like prefabbed routines for this express purpose when you're either, like I said, arriving home or leaving home. It's kind of weird that its default configuration describes you verbally saying, "Hey, honey, I'm home," while you think the locator option that your phone just arrived on the property might be a better way to go. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's back up.
Home and cancel. Cancel.
Let's
Button.
go back. All right.
Alert. Quit mode setup.
Oh, God, no.
You can set up modes anytime in the A Lady app.
Oh, yeah. See, I think I entered a whole nother thing when I did that.
Cancel. Button. Quit setup. Button.
Let's go to quit setup.
When this back. Button.
Let's see if I'm back where I was.
Smart home.
Yes,
Button.
I am. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else we haven't missed.
Sound detection. Sports. But location. But alarms. But modes. But echo button. Button.
Echo button. Oh, please, Amazon, bring back the echo buttons, or like a button with 3 buttons on it or something, like a Stream Deck or something. Those are really cool, and they're nested in here everywhere, but nobody can buy them anymore. So there used to be these little Bluetooth buttons, I guess, or Wi-Fi buttons, and you would slap them, and you could have them. Well, originally I think they were designed for families playing some sort of gaming thing at home, but you ultimately could use them for configuring and activating routines. So I think this is super cool, but I wish we had some switches like that, guys.
Smart home. Echo button. Auto. Echo buds. Auto. Button. Echo button. Button.
Oh, there's still more to go. I'm sorry, guys. Okay.
Auto. Button.
Auto. So there is the auto device that I think the Amazon Echo thing for your auto car. I assume that's what that is. So maybe you could have that trigger routine when you leave the garage or something, or when you arrive back in the garage.
Echo buds. Button.
Echo Buds, that's the earplug headphone things that you can get. So I'm not too sure why you'd want that to trigger a routine.
Reborok Plus.
But I
Button.
guess you could. And then this is another automation device here.
Reborok Plus.
I think
Button.
that's a vacuum cleaner or something, like a robot vacuum.
Ask a lady.
Okay, I think that's basically it. I think we've got there. Okay, so let's go all the way back. We've looked at the triggers.
Alarm. Sound. Smart. Scale. Other. Voice. Presence. Event. When this back. But voice. But other event. Voice. Present. Events with when this hap. Back. Button.
Okay, I'm going to go back.
Back.
And now we're going to go down
Cancel.
to what
Button.
activities you can actually have happen.
Add an event. A lady will.
Okay, this is what she can do.
Add an action.
And
Button.
I can add an action. So let's go
Add
in
an
here.
add
and
add new.
This will give you an idea. Okay.
Announcement.
Button.
I don't think I'm at the top. Let's go look at the top.
Custom. Create your own custom action with a lady. But add new. Heading.
Okay, now we're at the top, the very heading at the top.
Custom. Create your own custom action with a lady. Button.
This is our very first one. Looks like this is an alphabetized list. So this is probably the most powerful feature ever. And I think you were originally limited on this at some point. I can't remember if that was with A-Lady Plus or before when it was the old classic A-Lady. You could only maybe like do one or two of these. But now I think you can just pile in several. This is super cool. So anything that you would think that you could verbally command the A-Lady to do, you literally go in here and you type it into a field. And then it's linked to the routine. So that is really powerful. It could be a mouthful, ask the Bible app to read Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, or whatever. I mean, that's probably not something you're going to create into a routine, but you can create some pretty elaborate routines. So this is really kind of cool for verbal commands. In short, anything that the A-Lady could do verbally, you can type it in this verbal box, even though it may not appear in the list below. And seemingly work. So that's kind of snazzy. All right, let's go down.
Smart home. Button.
So there's those smart home things, turn on my salt lamp, turn on the fan, turn off the thermostat, turn on the light bulbs. All that my home automation stuff is going to be in there, and I can choose lots of stuff with my light bulbs. Are they on or off? What color hue are they on? Thermostat, is it hot, cold? What temperature is it set to? You can do all that kind of designations as you drill into individual home automation devices. All right, let's keep going.
A lady says. Button.
A lady says. So I think this is one where she just like announces the weather. You're given like a prefab list. She can tell you the joke of the day. I don't think there's anything really terribly cutesy in here. It's just kind of like a good morning or something. It's kind of a weird, quirky like thing. That you can have her do. Let's keep going.
Announcement. Button.
Announcement. Now, this is a pretty powerful feature. So, announcements go across all your Echoes simultaneously. So, this is like a great way to notify the kids that we're going to the grocery store in 15 minutes. If you want to come, you better be ready, or something like that. But it's a great way to notify you too of things, despite wherever you are in the house, right? So I think that's super helpful because you may not know, well, am I in the kitchen? Am I in the basement? Am I in the bedroom? Well, something of a particular import, you can set up a routine so that it announces everywhere. So that's really kind of cool. And maybe a particular information that you might need to have. Although I don't the announcement feature probably wouldn't work that way. So like if I went in an announcement, I think I'd probably just type verbatim what I wanted to announce, like you have an important email. If I could have a trigger that would activate that way. While if you wanted a more flexible thing, you could go up to the A-Lady where you make a statement like you're talking to A-Lady, where you'd say, hey, A-Lady, I'd like you to announce the weather for today. And she'll broadcast it through the whole house. I think she'll do that. So anywho, so those are some options. Let's keep going.
Audible. Button.
If for some reason you wanted to make a routine that triggered an Audible book, you could. I don't know why you would want to do such a thing, but you could. I guess, you have a certain time of day that I'm going to read. I'm going to finish this book. I'm going to read one chapter, and it just, it's 7 o'clock every night. It, ding, ding, start your Audible book. I don't know. I don't know why anybody would do that.
Calendar. Button.
Calendar, so that's real useful if you needed to do, read out, every morning at 7 a.m. you wanted to, play the news and then read out your calendar. You could create a routine that does that.
Calling. Button.
Calling, so this is kind of handy, like something happens maybe in the house, you think of the water's running or fire alarm goes off. I'm trying to remember if fire alarm is one of the sound. I think they might have took that out of the freebie options and added that to the paid home alert system. But you used to have one in there where if a fire alarm or something went off, it could trigger a routine. If such was the case, you could have it then in follow-up make a phone call to you or somebody else. So that's what this calling feature
Calling.
is.
Button.
I don't know why else you would do that, except for maybe the kids or something, just tell her, call Mima or whatever, and it knows to call,
Date and time.
Grandma
Button.
Ward or something. I don't know. That's curious.
Delivery. Date and time. Button.
Date and time. So this is a handy way you can create routines that announce the date and time or a certain derivative thereof. And think again, you can link it to time and schedule. So like if you like having a clock that every 3 hours at 9, 12, 3 in the afternoon, and 6 o'clock at night announces the time, you could create with 1 or 2 routines, probably something that does something like that. You would probably say, announce the time at 9 a.m., then wait 3 hours, then announce the time, and then wait 3 hours and announce the time. Something like that. That might be a kludgy way to kind of make a talking clock, kind of a thing going on.
Delivery updates. Button.
Delivery updates. So maybe you're, a small business and you need to know every day whether something's getting delivered. Now, admittedly, you'll get a notification chime, but, you could set up a routine. So every day when you sit down, you either start the routine or it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. First thing it does, gives you the weather report, plays the news, tells you the weather, and then announces, "Hey, you're going to have a package delivered today. It's 15 stops away." So that's an interesting feature.
Device settings. Button.
Device settings. So you can go in there and configure echoes to change their volume or different things like that. I don't know if there's much beyond volume. Let's see what else is beyond volume.
Device settings.
Oh, there's a few
Do not
things in
disturb.
here.
Button.
There's do not disturb mode.
Volume. Button.
Volume.
Stop audio. Button.
Stop audio. Stop audio is very useful. If you have a routine, you might want to stop, playing all the music throughout the house so you can hear it.
Device set back.
Although
Button.
it would duck the audio and then probably just return to the audio. I've never thought to not stop the audio. I always do stop the audio. Like I have a driveway sensor routine that when somebody pulls in the driveway, it announces somebody's just pulled in the driveway. And it blinks my porch light to let my friends know that they've been detected. So they don't feel like they got to honk the horn or text me. But also, what was I saying? It stops all music. So if I had music going on in the house, it would stop the music and it'd make that announcement. So
Device settings.
I've just
Heading.
always stopped the music.
Back.
So that's
Button.
interesting.
Add new.
Okay, let's keep going.
Calendar. Button. Calling. Date and time. Delivery update. Device settings.
Okay,
Button.
we were at device settings. Let's see if there's anything after that.
Drop in notification. Button.
Drop in notification. I wonder why it just doesn't say drop in. Huh. Well, anyway. I guess if you automatically wanted a routine to trigger that would allow you to drop in on somebody, I don't know. Why would you do that? I don't know. Maybe I guess if you want to hang out with family every morning or at breakfast at 7 o'clock, have an automatic drop-in session with mom and dad, and I don't know, hear dad making the pancakes in the background or something. I don't know. That's curious. Not too sure. I guess it'd be kind of like an automated Zoom call in a way. It's just you could set it up to be triggered or timed by something. A lot of these things, I feel like if you had the button still, it would be great. You could have a button labeled over here, the morning call or the grandma call or whatever, and just have the kid slap the button. Anyway.
Fire TV. Button.
Fire TV automation. So you could have a trigger and then a response where it turns your TV off. I think that's actually the one that I have that goes at like 1 in the morning or 12 o'clock at night. If I have been active in the office for a while, it says there's no people detected. It will trigger the Fire TV, which is plugged up to my TV monitor, and just shut it off and use the Fire TV stick to initiate that shutdown.
Information. Button.
Information? I'm not too sure what's under information. Stocks or something, maybe?
Modes. Button.
There's the modes again. See, this is where it can like eat its own tail. You have a trigger that's a mode, and then it'll actually activate or do something with the mode. I don't quite understand that.
Music and podcasts. Button.
Music and podcasts. This is super cool. So I like that because if you want to expand the little jingles you can have it play, you can usually find little special jingles, like a garbage truck or a pill bottle shaking, and you can find that in the Amazon Music library, and then you could put it in there as, every 9 a.m. It makes a pill bottle thing shaking, and that reminds you need to take your pills this morning and your vitamins. Or like a trash truck is, at 7 in the morning makes a trash truck sound to remind you it's trash day. You need to make sure that the trash is out.
Navigation button.
Navigation? I don't know. That's probably connected with the Amazon Auto thing, so that maybe you every morning send some sort of navigation directions to your. Let's look at that. I have no idea what that does.
Destination. Location. Tap to add location. Link.
It might be a traffic thing. I don't think it'd say navigation.
To get directions on an on-the-go device like a car or phone, make sure the device has location sharing enabled.
Yeah.
Location. Tap to add location. Link. Ask a lady. Location. To get directions. Location. Tap to add location. To get directions on an on-the-go device like a car or phone, make sure the device has location sharing enabled.
That's peculiar. I don't know how you would use that. When I mentioned the email at the end of the show, if anybody's got an idea how you would use that, I guess if you had an auto.
To get directions on an on-the-go device like a car or phone, make sure the device has alert, low battery.
On-the-go device. So that might be an Amazon Auto. Yeah, that might be the case. Okay. Or maybe if you have a lady integrated into your car, then it would pass the directions. But why you would do that as part of a routine, I don't exactly understand. But
20% battery remaining.
Okay, sorry, my phone battery is
low power mode.
dying
Button.
here.
Close. Button.
Okay, so
Amazon
let's go
Elite. Back.
Okay, I'm going to hit the back button.
Add new. Calling. Button. Date and delivery up. Device set. Drop in notif. Fire TV.
Sorry, I got to go back through these here.
Information. Button. Modes. Button. Music and pod. Navigation. Button.
Navigation.
News. Button.
News. Okay, that's cool. You could have a routine for news. So a lot of those things you think of like your breakfast morning routine, you could really craft a pretty cool routine.
Notifications. Button.
Notifications. Okay. I guess it would read the notifications you got. You mean maybe like a weather alert or something? I don't know.
Skills. Button.
Now, this is interesting. Skills. So you do have access to the old skills store in here, and you can designate one to be triggered. I'm not too sure I've ever got that to work. I might have just not tried recently. Like I said, I haven't used this in a while, and I could never quite think of a good reason. I guess like maybe if you had a morning devotional or certain thing you check every morning inside of a skill, like a local radio station skill or something, you could set up a timer, an alarm, or I should say a routine that's based on time to activate that skill and, do whatever, play that station or whatever.
News. Button. Notifications. Button.
I'm tempted to go back into notifications, see what's in there.
Skills.
Let's
Button.
just make sure we're at the end of the list, though.
Sounds. Button.
Oh, sounds. So this is where you get a list of just generic jingles and bell sounds and things that you can use. I use a lot of those, just kind of give me a generic vibe for when a routine is running that is a home automation, especially something controlling like the thermostats and stuff around the house. Although I think they make their own beep anyway, so I don't really need to know that. But it just kind of firms up to me that something is transpiring.
Traffic. Button.
There's the traffic. It's confusing with navigation. There's a separate traffic option here. So like if you want to find out if the traffic's going to be bad driving to work in the morning, you can, automatically get that read out to you.
Wait. Button.
And probably perhaps the most important feature, the wait command near the bottom. So you got to think when you stagger these things along, like the light turns off and then the thermostat, or then you want the music to play, you can have a wait in between. Say, I want 2 or 3 minutes or I want 30 seconds. You can do that. Now, I use this mostly, I'm trying to think where I use this a lot. Maybe in my shower routine, between me activating it and me, getting in the shower, turning on the Bluetooth speaker, getting the hot water going, all of that. I have certain wait steps in there. And then, it transitions. into something else. Hey, Dave, it's time to get out of the shower, or whatever,
Weather button.
And there's a weather option, too. I feel like we saw weather already, but I guess not. It's a W.
Ask a lady.
Okay, so that is the end of the list. Weather and sounds and traffic and all of that. Let's look at notifications, because I don't know.
Notifications button.
Let's see what it says
Notification.
under
Send
there.
push notification. Receive a notification on the A Lady app button. Read notifications. A Lady notifications heading.
Oh, okay, so it's several generic things connected with notifications. Let's see what it says.
Read notifications. A Lady will read your pending notifications button.
Okay, that could be handy. So, because your notifications go off in the background if you're not in the room to hear it, and you don't notice the little yellow light, which are a little harder to see these days since they're on the bottom of all the devices. You could have a routine, every day at noon or at your breakfast routine after it plays the news. It reads out if there's any present notifications, Like we just got one tonight that there was a air quality advisory here in the valley. So that was a notification we got. And here's another one.
Send push notification. Receive a notification on the A Lady app button.
Now, I think this is pretty handy. You can, if you have notifications enabled on your A Lady app on your phone, you make a routine that gets triggered, and then you get a little pop-up on your phone. Maybe not so useful when you're at home, but if you're out and about at the grocery store and you have a routine set up to hear, running water or a dog barking or something like that, and it triggers a series of events, one of them could be to send a little notice to your phone telling you something's going on, so that's kind of interesting.
Read notifications
All right,
heading.
I'm going to go back.
Back button.
Okay.
Add new.
What was the other thing I was thinking we'd look at? What's this info thing?
Calendar. Calling. Date and time. Delivery up. Device setting. Drop in Fire TV. Information. Button.
Information. I want to see what information is.
Information.
Oh.
Celebrity birthdays. A lady will tell you.
Jeez.
Information.
Got a lot of
heading.
stuff in
Information.
Here.
Heading.
We'll start at the top, though, here. Starting at the top.
Mental health tip of the day. A lady will give you daily mental health tips. Button.
Okay, that's interesting. I guess this is probably expanded a little bit now with Alexa Plus.
Today in history. A lady will tell you what happened this day in history. Button.
Okay.
Sunrise and sunset. A lady will tell you the day's sunrise and sunset times.
Okay.
Button. Stock market update. A lady will give you an update on the stock market. Celebrity birthdays. A lady will tell you what celebrities have birthdays today. But Bitcoin. A lady will tell you what Bitcoin is trading at. Button.
Bitcoin, okay.
Ask a lady.
All right, Bitcoin. All right. So, I think that's about it, guys. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we really need to burrow into. There's a lot of nuances here, though. Like if you went down the home automation track, let me shut that off. Obviously you're going to find lots of configuration options and stuff like that. But yeah, really snazzy. So if you haven't had a chance to look into that and you weren't following along with me, that may have given you a taste for why you might want to delve into the app and start playing with that and take a look. But anyway, so that will wrap things up. If you have thoughts or suggestions or correction or errata that I made, just feel free to let me know. Echo Tips Podcast at CertDoctor, C-E-R-T, Doctor, DoctorCom. Or you can go to that CertDoctor.com on Mastodon. My Mastodon link's at the top. You can reach out to me that way as well. But anywho, thank you for joining us today. Sorry that rambled on. We appreciate your listenership. And until next time, we thank you for listening.